welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I have a new model here today and his name is Micah, and I actually met Micah at my hair salon, and we were talking about skin there at the salon, and he was saying how he's really been struggling with just keeping his skin really healthy and toned, that he felt that he was losing a lot of tone in his face. And being that he has told me that he was a smoker and also in the Marine Corps drinking, all these things really affect the skin. So I asked Micah if he wouldn't mind being a model, and so we could talk about his skin, look at his skin, and watch over the next couple of months to see improvement as I start to work on building his skin up. So he was saying that he just sort of really noticed it, particularly around his lower cheekbone down onto his jaw, that he's just feeling he's lost a lot of tone there, and that he felt he was aging faster than he should be for his age. So that's why we have him here today. We're going to do some different things, and first I'm going to cleanse his skin off, and then we'll bring over the camera to have a look at his skin through the Maggie-lamp. So I'm using the K cleanser to cleanse his skin. His skin feels a little bit surface dry, again that surface dryness that we talk so much about. It is a little loose. As I'm massaging his skin, I can feel we can definitely improve the tone and the levels in his skin and just build it up to be a stronger skin. It's so important for people that smoke and for people that drink, and it really affects the skin, especially smoking. It gives it that flat, dull coloring, as well as it really affects the capillary walls. So often there's a lot of little burst blood vessels and ruddiness with smoking, because it does affect the circulation within our body, and it's really something that it does affect our skin. The same with drinking. It all is very dehydrating, and that's why when people, after they go out on a fun night with their alcohol, they wake up the next morning and they say their skin is so dry. So it really dehydrates the body tremendously. And of course, if you're like me with my body type, who I cannot even have wine at all, it makes me so emotional. It's crazy how it affects people. So it definitely affects people differently. So Micah, as you can see, has a lot of color around his neck area as well. He has, a thinner skin, but he has a lot of color around his neck, and just a very thin skin. I would say to Micah just to make sure that he's not putting any aftershave or any colognes on his neck, because that combined with sun is going to give it that reddish brownish tone. Down from here down, you can see he doesn't have the ruddiness. From here up, he's probably driving too, and that neck area is exposed through the windshield. So he's getting sun on there. So he really needs to make sure that he's using a good sunscreen when he's driving. So we are going to remove the cleanser now with my disposable sponges. So if you are a drinker, or you are a smoker, or you were a drinker and were a smoker, it's important to really make sure that you're feeding the skin a lot of nutrients to just try and build it back. And you absolutely can get it all back. You just have to really start feeding it and nurturing the skin, and that requires every day just feeding the skin nutrients and building those levels back. Because in Micah's skin, for instance, we can feel that his skin, it's not a thick skin, it's a thinner skin, and it is lacking nutrients. So you will be able to see by the time we finish with him, even today, his skin is going to look a lot better. It's going to look a lot healthier. It's going to be stronger to the touch, as well as his levels will feel very different. So we've done the cleansing. We're going to do an exfoliation now on him, and it's going to be with the exfoliating mask. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the healing gel. I do not want it to be too strong. His skin's a little sensitive. It has a lot of color in it, so I don't want to be too strong with my exfoliant. So we have the exfoliating mask. It is going to be a little bit stingy. It does also have a little bit of the healing gel mixed with it. And see, Micah's neck is really quite red, so I want to make sure that I work the flavonoid into his skin a lot, but I'm also going to give him the flavonoid to take home so that he's using that to help with that ruddiness. He has a little bit of heat in his skin. I'm feeling here, before we get going too much with massage, I'm feeling a little heat, and that we know is some inflammation. So I will be asking him if he can stay away from tomatoes and also the red wine and the peppers. Spicy is not good when you have heat inside the body. He did mention to me before we started there was one thing that he has on his skin. It's up under his left eye. They're tiny, tiny little raised bumps, and it looks like it is a little bit of dermatitis. It's allergy based. When you get them around the eye area, it's often allergy based, and he's not sure whether it was from when he touched something, but often around the eye area, if you get dermatitis, it's stress related. So he said he's had it there for a month. So the only way that he could nip that and get that better is he will have to get a hydrocortisone, but a prescription one, because over the counter is not going to get rid of it. And because it's so close to the eye, he will have to use such a minute amount. It will be not what you put on a Q-tip, but what you put on a toothpick amount. Tiniest amount, and he would need to do it maybe 3 nights maximum, just a little bit every night for 3 nights, and then it should be gone. That's a good product to have, those prescription strength hydrocortisone creams, just in case you have any allergy, a little bit of eczema, dermatitis. It's a good product to have in your cupboard at home, just in case it should something happen where you get a little bit of eczema or dermatitis or something like that. So we are going to remove the exfoliating mask now. Whenever you have to use anything aggressive or prescription strength on the face, and being that it is so close to the eye, you have to be really, really careful. You're not using an amount like you would like an eye cream. You're using just a tiny, the tiniest amount you can get out. That is what you would be using up in that area, and you would only use it for a couple of days, 3 days at the max. If it has not gone within that time, then it is not the right cream for your condition. But any little irritation like that's always good to have a check with a dermatologist, because sometimes there's different types of irritations, and there's different types of eczema is different from dermatitis, is different from psoriasis. They're all different. So it's good to have it diagnosed by your doctor, confirm what it is, and then treat it accordingly. So we are going to be removing the exfoliating mask on the neck and a little bit down here on the décolleté where he's had a little bit of sun. He has this beautiful long neck. It's so nice. So we're going to use a little bit of healing gel now. His skin will be a little bit tingly after the exfoliating mask. So as I said before, when with drinking, with smoking, especially through college and 20s, 30s, it comes out later in life on your skin, and it does really dehydrate your body, and it doesn't show when you're doing it at the time in your 20s and 30s with the drinking and the smoking, but later in life it really comes out, and you can see how it affects the skin. So it doesn't allow the skin to heal quickly either. These are all things that sort of hinder the healing of the skin and the coloring of the skin, which becomes really flat and lifeless. So that's how it is for a lot of people that tend to abuse their body with different substances. This one here is our famous Q Flavonoid. We're going to work this in, and we're really going to work it into Micah's neck as well, just to help those little blood vessels there and help that ruddiness. And I'm not going to use retinol on his neck, but I am going to use a little bit on his face. I'm going to work it in for 5 minutes and add a little bit of the hydrating mask and then do some massage and just sort of really massage his skin just to help build those levels and stimulate bring oxygen to the blood there. This one here's the retinol, and I've added just a little tiny bit of healing gel to it. I'm going to work it into the skin for a moment. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of the hydrating mask now as I do my massage. I'm just going to bring the light over and have a look at Micah. I'm just putting some goggles on his skin. I want to just have a look at his skin. His skin doesn't look like he has any extractions. His skin looks very clean. And what I wanted to do today was just sort of really hydrate his skin and make it strong and just strengthen it so that he doesn't feel that loss of volume there either side of his lower cheek. So you can see Micah's skin it's very clean. His skin is very clean, but we want to just sort of really build it, make it strong, a strong, sturdy skin, because as we get older, our skin gets thinner. So we want to make sure that his skin sort of really lasts him into his 90s, 100, that we give him a really strong skin. And we're going to work in those retinols, work in that Q Flavonoid, and really help to strengthen his levels. Okay, so we've worked in a little bit of the Q Flavonoid, we've worked in retinol with a little bit of the hydrating mask, done a little massage with that. I'm now putting on the fruit complex #1. If you notice in all my videos, I'm doing very similar things, just changing them up very slightly. Why? Because it's what works on shrinking pore size, strengthening the skin, tightening and toning the skin. The normalizing, of course, being for acne, the fruit complex #1 being for the drier skins, being for reducing the depth of wrinkles and lessening that pore size, which is what we want to do. So we're going to put the fruit complex #1 on now. It is going to be a little stingy on his skin. I actually had a client today who had asked me if I could talk more about how alcohol and smoking, how it affects the skin, and she had told me she herself is 33, and she had said growing up she had been drinking, and she was really sort of a little bit more abusive with her body, and she really noticed that it affected her skin. So she had said to me, if I could talk about it a little bit and how it affects the skin, that would be great. And so I will say that smoking, it affects the circulation in the skin. It creates the skin to be ruddy because of the circulation and how it affects it, but it really just sucks the life out of the skin too, and a skin coloring is really flat. So that's what smoking does. It just sucks the life out of the skin. Alcohol, on the other hand, is a stimulant, and so it causes a lot of ruddiness as well as dehydration, and that is why it's so important to really drink a lot of fluids and water when if you are drinking alcohol, because the body becomes very dehydrated, remembering that if your organs are dehydrated, then that shows on your skin. So likewise, if your skin levels and you're really dehydrated on your skin, your organs are dehydrated. So it's important to make sure that you're constantly flushing and that you keep drinking a lot of fluids, and particularly water is really good. So that's an important one. But it sucks the life out of your skin when you smoke, and it makes a big difference. So I've seen people, the difference when someone smokes a lot of weed as well, it's something that happens is their skin breaks out a lot, and it's really hard to keep a skin controlled where there's different substances involved. that are being done daily or even, you know, several times a week, it really affects the skin, which again is just showing that it is affecting your body. So do understand that it's affecting the body, and as a result of that, it comes out on the skin. So what we're going to do here now is I've got the fruit complex number 1 on, which is that complex of your alpha hydroxy acid, your glycolic, your lactic, your malic, your tartaric and citrus. And by having a complex of your alpha hydroxy acids, it works on different levels in the skin, and every molecule of an alpha hydroxy acid is a different size and a different weight. So what that means is that it goes to different levels in the skin, and when you are building a strong skin, you need to be able to work on all levels, because that's what builds a strong outer layer and a strong lower layer. So it's like when you build a house, you cannot just have a really strong sturdy roof. You have to have very strong sturdy walls and a very strong sturdy frame and a very strong sturdy roof to have a good foundation. So it's the same with your skin. You have to build all your levels and have a strong skin for your skin to stay youthful and pretty as you age. So we all want our skin to be youthful, and no one wants to age. So it's very easy to be able to work with different products that really help to strengthen your skin and keep your skin strong, so it stays, you know, its optimal health through the years of aging. So as we get older. So the importance of working with AHAs are really very, very important, and I recommend them for people to use almost, you know, daily, as I do myself, use AHAs daily. So what we've done is we've done a fruit complex. Already his skin is feeling better. I can tell just by looking at it, I can feel it. It feels more dewy, it's stronger, it's more sturdy. I'm going to put some healing gel on the skin, and I'm going to do a collagen mask on his skin. I really love collagen. It feeds the skin a lot of nutrients. Again, I'm always talking about feeding the skin nutrients. If you look at Micah's neck, now his neck is not as ruddy, even though I've just done a fruit complex on him, because it really helps to strengthen those levels. And you need to strengthen and support the blood vessel walls to really get the skin strong and sturdy, and just to have it be a healthy skin. So his skin feels very different just after doing the fruit complex number 1. It has made a big difference in his skin, and he needs to be doing that on a regular basis at home as well. The collagen mask is the Rejuvi collagen, comes in a box, 6 applications in a box. It's 2 packets that are mixed together, and you have to mix them together dry before you add the water to it. I always do that first, and then I prep the skin. So when you go to do the collagen treatment, you want to make sure that the hair is not showing, because if any collagen gets in the hair, it's a little bit difficult to get out. In fact, because that just split, I'll stick that down there. I like to keep it as one piece. We're going to put it around here. I'm going to put some cotton pads over Micah's eyes. It's going to feel a little cool. I'm going to put it over the eyes. With the masks, the powder masks, this little water jug comes with it in the box, and I don't fill it all the way up to the top because I don't want the mask to be too runny. I leave it about a good 1/4 of an inch from the top, and then you add it after you've mixed the 2 powders dry together. You then add the water, and you mix it like you're mixing a cake. So you don't want to spend a long time doing it because it dries quite quickly. So you need to mix it and get it on the face. I'm a huge fan of collagen. There are different types of collagen, and I really love what it does. It's so healing for the skin. It's fabulous. So here we go. We're going to put it, I like to use a little rubber bowl because I like to be able to maneuver it around with my my hands, and now we're just applying it to Micah's skin. His skin though already feels so much better. Okay, so we have that on Micah's skin. I'm just going to wait a moment, and then I'm going to be layering a tissue sheet over top of it just to hold it all in place. As it is runny, sometimes it starts to run down on the neck a little bit, so we're just going to wait a moment and do that shortly. So I've laid this over. This then allows me, the tissue paper, to be able to press down on the mask. Micah just told me that after I did the fruit complex #1 on his skin and I touched his skin, he could feel that it wasn't wrinkling the way that he used to feel it wrinkle before. So he could tell just from doing the fruit complex #1 too that it gave his skin a lot of body and a lot of hydration within the levels, which is really great. So we're just going to leave this on his skin now for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be taking it off. Okay, so we're back. We're about to take off the mask off Micah's skin. We've done a collagen. We've done the powder where you mix the two powders together, and it really helps just give his skin so much. So we're going to peel that off now. It's been on his skin about 8 to 10 minutes, and we're going to take that off. Always builds up around the eyebrows here. Anywhere where there's hair, it'll attach itself a little. So what we're going to do is we're just going to clean off a little bit. Gets around the sides of the mouth here and the sides of the nose as well. Just going to clean it off. And as I said earlier, when I did the fruit complex on Micah's skin, he said he really sort of could feel a difference in his skin afterwards. And that's what's so important, is building those levels, is you want to feel that your skin's dewy, that it's got strength, that it's got a lot of volume in there. And that's what the fruit complex does. It helps to really build those levels. And if you look at his neck too, his neck looks really good. We didn't have the mask too far down, but his neck looks really good to me just from using the Q Flavonoid earlier and working that into his skin, because it helps so much with ruddiness. It's just such a great product. So that's it. His skin looks significantly better. I'm going to put on the Q Flavonoid and a little bit of retinol formula, a little bit of moisturizer over top of it. He's going to be going home. It's quite late here at night. He will be going home to sleep. So we shall prepare the skin for that. A little Q Flavonoid. When he uses the Q, he's going to have to use it all the way down onto his neck, onto his décolleté, and just pat it in there to the skin, so it really helps support those little blood vessels. A little bit of the retinol, and we're adding a little healing gel to it again. Just want to help build that, build those levels there, especially in this area here where he's lost volume in his face. Really build that up. So we have our eye product, and you're going to put it around his eyes. And then Micah's all done. So I'm going to be giving Micah some product to use at home. They are specifically to help strengthen and to build his skin where he's lost volume here in this part of his face down here, just to strengthen it. And you know, when we were looking at his skin in the hair salon before, and I said, just go have a look in the mirror and see how you can see all these lines down here. And he's like, yes, I can see them. So that's what I want to be able to work on, is really building, giving his skin some body. Just giving it feels so much better now. Just making his skin stronger, and just give him that really pretty look back in his skin as well, where his skin looks so healthy. So I'm going to ask Micah to come back in a month again, so we can have a look at his skin after he's been using the product, the home care, for a month, and we should be able to see a nice improvement for him with his volume and his tone, and just the youth in his skin. So again, we've used our traditional products here, our flavonoids, our retinols, our things that really make a difference to the skin. As we know, and you've seen in my previous videos, I use them a lot. They're phenomenal products in how they help strengthen and nourish and feed and hydrate, and they do all these fabulous things for all different skin types. So it's just really important to know we have our staple products, and then there's many different bonus items that you can add to that once you get your levels up and once you get your skin strong and sturdy and in a good place, then there's lots of fun things that you can add. But for right now, it is the basics and just building the skin for it to be a really strong, healthy skin. And that's what we're looking at for Micah. So thank you again for joining us for another Ask Nerida Joy video. And thank you, Micah, for coming in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.